Most drivers believe car problems come from age or bad luck. In reality, damage often starts much earlier through small, everyday habits no one explains. A 2023 report by Motor found that 64% of drivers delay essential vehicle maintenance, and many later face repair bills that could have been avoided with simple preventive care. The problem is that nothing feels wrong at first. The car still runs, so the cost shows up later, all at once. This video isn't about clever tricks or risky shortcuts. It's about preventive knowledge that protects your car, your wallet, and your peace of mind. If avoiding unnecessary repair costs matters to you, consider subscribing. What comes next can change how you treat your car every day. Hack number 17. The hidden reason your battery dies early. Most drivers assume batteries fail because they're old. In reality, many die early because of a small daily behavior that goes unnoticed. Modern cars constantly draw power even when parked. Screens, sensors, alarms, and computers remain partially active. When a vehicle sits unused for long stretches or is started briefly without fully recharging, the battery never recovers what it loses. Each start takes a large hit of power. If the drive that follows is too short, or the car sits again for days, the battery stays undercharged. Over time, this weakens its internal structure. The result isn't sudden failure. It's gradual loss that shows up on cold mornings or after a short stop. The fix is simple: awareness. Either drive long enough for the battery to recharge or avoid repeated short starts. If the car won't be used, an occasional longer drive makes a real difference. Understanding this early prevents unexpected breakdowns and avoids replacing a battery that never truly wore out. Hack number 16. Why short drives slowly harm your engine. Short trips feel harmless. The engine starts, you drive a few minutes, and you shut it off. Nothing seems wrong. But engines are designed to reach a stable operating temperature. When they don't, moisture and fuel residue don't fully burn off. That leftover moisture mixes with oil and slowly reduces its protective ability. Over time, this creates internal buildup that increases wear. The damage isn't loud or immediate. It develops quietly over months and years, which is why it's often misdiagnosed as age-related failure. The solution isn't complicated. If most trips are short, occasional longer drives help the engine fully warm, circulate oil properly, and clear contaminants. This isn't about changing driving style completely. It's about balance. Letting the engine complete its cycle protects parts you never see, but rely on every day. Hack number 15. The door seal problem. No one explains. Door seals are easy to ignore because they don't fail loudly. There's no warning light, no obvious sound, and no immediate sign something is wrong. Yet these seals play a constant role in keeping moisture, dust, and outside air where they belong. When they begin to dry out or stiffen, problems develop quietly. Heat, sunlight, and repeated door compression slowly pull flexibility out of the rubber. The seal may still look intact, but it no longer presses evenly against the door frame. That's when subtle issues start. Extra wind noise appears. Moisture sneaks in during rain. Interior materials are exposed to conditions they weren't designed to handle. Because this happens gradually, it often goes unnoticed until damage shows up elsewhere. At that point, the seal was the starting point. Even if it wasn't obvious, prevention is straightforward and inexpensive. Occasional cleaning and light conditioning keep the rubber flexible and effective. Addressing seals early protects interior comfort, reduces noise, and prevents moisture-related wear. It's a small habit with long-term impact, stopping problems before they spread and saving money long before repairs feel unavoidable. Hack number 14. The AC habit that ruins cabin air quality. Many drivers shut off their car while the air conditioning is still running. It feels routine and harmless. What often gets overlooked is what happens inside the system afterward. Moisture remains trapped in the air pathways, creating a damp environment that gradually affects air quality. This change doesn't happen quickly. Odors develop slowly, which is why they seem to appear out of nowhere. By the time the smell is noticeable, the habit that caused it has already been repeated countless times. A small adjustment makes a meaningful difference. Turning off the air conditioning shortly before shutting down allows remaining moisture to evaporate naturally. Airflow clears the system and reduces buildup without any special products or service. This simple habit keeps the cabin smelling fresh and protects long-term comfort. It also reduces the need for cleaning or treatments later on. Small awareness like this preserves air quality quietly and effectively, without adding effort to your routine. Hack number 13. How interior wear starts earlier than you think. Interior wear doesn't begin when you see cracks, peeling or fading. It starts much earlier. While everything still looks normal, heat trapped inside the cabin, repeated friction, and natural oils transferred from hands and clothing slowly weaken materials day after day. Because the change is gradual, it's easy to overlook. By the time wear becomes visible, the damage is already established. Surfaces lose flexibility, color fades unevenly, and textures break down in ways that can't be fully reversed. Restoration at that stage costs more and delivers limited results. Prevention works best when it's quiet and consistent. Simple habits like reducing direct sun exposure, keeping surfaces clean, and avoiding unnecessary friction slow the aging process before it accelerates. These small actions preserve materials instead of trying to repair them later. Protecting the interior early maintains comfort and appearance, while also supporting long-term value. This isn't about perfection or keeping things spotless. It's about slowing wear so the car continues to feel cared for, instead of prematurely worn. Hack number 12. A tire detail. Most drivers do the obvious check and move on. Tire pressure gets adjusted, and everything seems fine. What often goes unnoticed is how tires actually wear across their surface. Slight misalignment, uneven inflation, or small suspension changes can cause wear patterns that don't affect handling right away. Because the car still feels stable, these changes are easy to ignore. The wear develops quietly over thousands of miles. By the time vibration or noise appears, the tire's lifespan has already been reduced, and replacement feels unavoidable. Catching this early changes the outcome. A quick visual look at tread edges and surface wear during routine checks reveals problems long before they become expensive. Addressing them early protects stability, improves traction, and extends tire life without additional cost. Tires are the only part of the vehicle that touches the road. Small observations here have an outsized impact on safety and control. Paying attention early prevents wasted mileage and keeps the car responding predictably in everyday driving. Hack number 11. Why your lights fade faster than they should. Headlights rarely stop working all at once. They gradually lose clarity and strength. The change is so slow that most drivers adapt without noticing. Lenses cloud over time. Protective coatings break down, and light output weakens little by little. Because the road is still visible, the problem feels minor. That gradual loss matters. Reduced light affects how quickly you see obstacles, signs, and movement ahead. In rain, fog, or darkness, even small reductions in visibility increase reaction time. The risk isn't sudden or obvious. It builds quietly, which is why it's often ignored. Preventing this starts early. Protecting headlight surfaces and paying attention to clarity keeps light output consistent and reliable. Waiting until fading becomes obvious limits options and raises cost. Clear lights aren't about cosmetic appearance. They're about control and awareness on the road. Understanding how fading happens encourages early action, which keeps visibility strong and avoids replacing components before their time. Hack number 10. The small weight issue that adds up over time. Extra weight rarely feels like a problem because it builds slowly. A box left in the trunk, tools kept just in case, or gear that never gets removed all seem harmless on their own. Together, they create constant resistance the car has to manage every time it accelerates or brakes. That extra load forces the engine to work harder without you noticing. Fuel usage rises in small increments that are easy to overlook. At the same time, brakes and suspension absorb more stress than they were designed for. Nothing fails right away, which is why the cost often feels sudden later on. Reducing unnecessary weight is one of the simplest ways to protect efficiency and components. It doesn't require upgrades or new habits behind the wheel. It starts with awareness of what's being carried and whether it truly needs to stay there. Less weight means smoother acceleration, improved mileage, and reduced wear over time. The benefit comes from understanding how small choices affect long-term performance. Awareness alone can save fuel, extend part life, and keep the car responding the way it should. Why these hacks matter more than you think. If these details feel small, that's the point. Car damage rarely comes from one big mistake. It comes from minor habits repeated for years. Recognizing them early changes outcomes completely. Nothing here is about fear or blame. It's about control. Understanding how wear actually develops puts you ahead of most drivers without spending extra money. If this perspective already helped you rethink even one habit, keep going. The next sections focus on protection, safety, and overlooked features most people use incorrectly, if they use them at all. If this helped, consider subscribing for more simple, money-saving car insights. Hack number 9. A cooling system detail. Almost everyone misses. Cooling system problems rarely announce themselves with immediate warning signs. Most drivers expect overheating lights or obvious steam. What often goes unnoticed is how airflow slowly gets restricted, long before those alerts ever appear. Radiators depend on clean open paths for air to pass through and carry heat away from the engine. Over time, the front of the vehicle collects debris from everyday driving. Dust, insects, leaves, and road residue gradually settle where airflow matters most. The engine continues to run normally, so nothing feels wrong. Yet temperatures stay just high enough to increase stress on components without triggering alarms. This kind of strain isn't dramatic, but it's constant. And constant heat shortens the life of parts designed to operate within a narrow range. The fix doesn't involve tools or mechanical skill. Periodic visual checks and gentle cleaning keep airflow unobstructed and cooling performance stable. This simple habit protects expensive engine components and prevents problems that seem sudden but actually built over time. A small amount of attention here delivers long-term reliability with no added cost. Hack number 8. The steering wheel habit that causes premature wear. Steering wheels often show wear long before drivers expect it. The damage doesn't come from defects or rough use. It builds slowly through constant contact. Natural oils from hands, repeated grip pressure, and daily exposure to sunlight gradually weaken the surface material. Early wear is easy to miss. The texture starts to feel slightly smoother. Color shifts subtly. Nothing looks broken, so the habit continues. Over time, those small changes turn into peeling, cracking, or permanent discoloration that can't be reversed. A simple adjustment slows this process dramatically. Limiting direct sun exposure and keeping the surface clean reduces breakdown before it accelerates. This isn't about changing how you drive or handling the wheel less. It's about recognizing how everyday behavior affects materials designed to last. Understanding this early keeps the steering wheel comfortable and intact for years longer. Prevention works because it starts before damage becomes visible. Small, consistent awareness protects something you touch every day and keeps the interior feeling cared for rather than worn out. Hack number 7. A safety feature built in, but never explained. Most cars come equipped with safety features designed to help in moments when decisions need to be quick. The problem is not the technology, it's the lack of explanation. Many drivers are aware the feature exists, but don't fully understand where it is, how it works, or when it should be used. As a result, it stays untouched until it's needed most. In stressful situations, uncertainty creates hesitation. When you don't already know what to do, even helpful features feel confusing. That hesitation reduces the benefit the feature was designed to provide. Understanding it ahead of time removes that pause and replaces it with confidence. This doesn't require technical knowledge or advanced training. It starts with awareness. Knowing what your car already offers and how it supports you turns a hidden feature into a practical safety tool. That understanding costs nothing, yet it can make a meaningful difference when pressure is high. Empowerment comes from clarity. When you know what's available, you make better choices without rushing or guessing. The feature doesn't change. Your relationship with it does. Hack number 6. The quiet electrical drain that costs money. Many drivers assume that once the engine is off, the car is completely at rest. In reality, modern vehicles continue to use small amounts of power even when parked. Convenience features, monitoring systems, and electronics stay partially active. Individually, these draws seem insignificant. Over time, they add up. Because the drain is slow, the problem stays hidden. The car starts normally day after day, until one morning it doesn't. At that point, the battery gets blamed on age or bad quality, even though it was slowly weakened by routine use. Awareness changes the outcome. Knowing that power is still being consumed helps prevent unnecessary strain. Simple habits, like being mindful of accessories left active, or how long a car sits unused, protect battery health without any tools or expense. This isn't about limiting convenience, it's about balance. Understanding how parked vehicles still use energy allows you to adjust habits before reliability suffers. That awareness extends battery life, reduces unexpected starting problems, and avoids replacing parts that never actually failed from wear alone. Hack number 5. The interior sound that signals a fixable problem. Interior noises are often treated as background irritations. A faint rattle, a light squeak, or a subtle vibration doesn't feel serious enough to investigate. Because the car still drives normally, it's easy to assume the sound is harmless. In reality, many interior noises are early signals, not random annoyances. These sounds usually come from components that have shifted slightly, or begun wearing unevenly. Nothing is broken yet. That's what makes them important. When ignored, small movements turn into larger problems as friction increases and surrounding parts are affected. What started as a simple noise can become a repair that feels sudden and expensive. Listening early changes that outcome. Treating sound as information instead of frustration keeps problems manageable. A quick inspection or adjustment often resolves the issue completely and restores the calm driving environment people expect. This approach also reduces stress. When sounds are understood, they lose their power to irritate. You stop wondering if something is wrong and start addressing it before it grows. Quiet comfort isn't just about silence. It's about knowing you responded while the fix was still simple. Hack number 4. Why certain smells mean action, not panic. Unusual smells inside a car often trigger immediate concern. People assume something is seriously wrong and either panic or ignore it altogether. In many cases, neither reaction helps. Most odors develop gradually and point to conditions that are easy to correct when noticed early. Smell patterns usually have causes tied to moisture, airflow, or buildup. These situations don't announce themselves with warning lights. They show up quietly, which is why they're often dismissed until they become harder to address. Calm attention makes the difference. Recognizing when a smell first appears helps stop the problem from spreading or settling in. Responding early doesn't mean overreacting. It means acknowledging the signal and addressing the source before it creates discomfort or unnecessary expense. This approach protects air quality and prevents minor issues from escalating. Not every warning demands urgency. Some simply require understanding and timely action. When you replace fear with awareness, you stay in control. That shift allows you to respond effectively instead of reacting emotionally, keeping both the car and the driving experience calm and reliable. Hack number 3. A feature you paid for but rarely use properly. Most cars come with features designed to protect the vehicle or make driving easier. Yet many owners never use them as intended. Not because they don't care, but because no one clearly explained how or why those features matter. Over time, they fade into the background and become something you forget is even there. When used correctly, these features quietly do their job. They reduce strain, improve efficiency, or add a layer of protection without drawing attention to themselves. The value isn't dramatic, but it's consistent. Small improvements add up every time you drive. Recovering that value doesn't require learning new skills or changing how you drive. It starts with understanding what the feature was designed to do and allowing it to work the way it was meant to. Confidence comes from clarity, not complexity. This is about intention. Using what your car already provides prevents waste and improves everyday experience without spending anything extra. Once you recognize that these features exist to support you, not complicate things, driving becomes smoother and more predictable. Hack number 2. The one thing to check before every long drive. Long drives don't create problems on their own. They expose small issues that were already there. When a car runs longer and harder than usual, anything slightly off has more time to develop into a real interruption. That's why breakdowns often feel sudden, even though the cause existed well before the trip began. Taking a moment to check key conditions before leaving changes the entire experience. It's not about inspecting everything or preparing for the worst. It's about confirming that the basics are in order. So the drive begins with confidence instead of doubt. That short pause prevents second-guessing later on the road. Preparation isn't driven by fear, it's about control and clarity. When you know your car is ready, Your attention stays where it belongs, on traffic, weather, and the drive itself. Stress drops because uncertainty is removed. This habit doesn't require tools or technical knowledge. It relies on awareness and timing. Making it routine before longer trips protects both the car and the journey. Peace of mind isn't accidental. It comes from knowing you checked before you needed to. Hack number 1. The most overlooked habit that protects everything. The most powerful form of protection isn't a product, a tool, or a repair. It's awareness. Noticing how small, repeated habits affect wear changes everything about long-term ownership. Cars rarely fail without warning. The signals are usually subtle and easy to ignore because nothing feels urgent in the moment. Consistent care matters more than occasional fixes. A car responds best when its needs are recognized early, before problems stack on top of each other. When habits stay the same but conditions slowly change, wear accelerates quietly. That's when costs appear suddenly and feel unavoidable. Understanding cause and effect removes that uncertainty. Knowing why something happens makes it easier to prevent rather than react. It turns ownership into a calm process, instead of a cycle of surprises. You stop chasing problems after they surface and start guiding the outcome ahead of time. This habit connects every section in this video. Awareness reduces stress, protects expensive components, and keeps small issues from becoming big ones. Nothing here requires advanced skills or constant attention. It simply asks you to notice what your car is telling you and respond early. That shift alone does more to protect everything than any single upgrade ever could. Final thought. Why knowing this changes how you drive? Drivers who care don't rely on luck. They rely on understanding. The difference isn't mechanical knowledge, it's attention. Knowing how wear develops changes how choices are made long before problems appear. Nothing in this video required special tools or risky shortcuts. It focused on awareness, prevention, and timing. That mindset saves money because it avoids mistakes before they happen. It also reduces stress by replacing uncertainty with clarity. Driving doesn't have to feel like waiting for something to go wrong. When you understand what your car needs, confidence replaces worry. If this helped you see your car differently, consider subscribing. More calm, practical insights like this are always on the way.